It's the penultimate game before the next international break. I know, we love them. I can't wait for it to arrive. It's a couple of weeks away. So, but before we go into international break, we've got Nottingham Forest away tomorrow, followed by Everton at home. Nottingham Forest, very tough game. I actually, out of the sort of 4 games in this sort of set of matches, I felt this would be the toughest, by far, actually. I felt this is going to be a really tough game. We haven't got a great record, of course, at the City Ground. And not only are they a very good home side and we've got a bad record there, they've just started the season so well, Nottingham Forest. So it's a big, big test for West Ham, of course, coming off the back of a win against Manchester United. But despite that, there's still... the anxieties are still there. I don't know about you. I'm still, I'm certainly not, having beaten Manchester United. It doesn't make me feel right. Bring on Forest. I really fancy it. I've still got that apprehensive feeling going into this game, and it's going to be very tough. And Nottingham Forest, of course, in decent form, started very well. Anyway, let's talk about Nottingham Forest. Let's talk about Nottingham Forest first, as we do, and then we'll talk about West Ham. I mean, they seem like a club now that's moving away from that kind of relegation scrap every season. That I feel like when you get promoted, that's kind of what you're expected to happen. You expect you're going to be down the bottom. You're going to be, battling out for survival. But you can see this season, Leicester are probably going to be involved in that, Ipswich, etc. So it does feel like Nottingham Forest is just starting to step away from that now, starting to become a little bit more established in the Premier League. They seem like a balanced side. And of course, Nuno, he's done really well there since he's been there. It feels like a good fit for him and for the club. It's a good match, and I'm really pleased for him. Nottingham Forest are a club steeped in history. Obviously, Brian Clough, of course, with the European success he had there, and just a brilliant club. I remember Roy Keane coming from there as well. They've produced some brilliant players over the years, and just a big football club with a lot of history, So it's great to see them back in the Premier League. This is now their 3rd season. As I say, it just feels like they're just stepping away now from that battling to stay away from the bottom 3. It feels like they're probably looking up a little bit more. Whether that, at the moment, there'll probably be some fans will be talking, Nottingham Forest fans talking about European football again and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like that's probably quite a step too far from them at the moment. But the start has been great, and they've got the points on the board early, and it means they can relax and start to enjoy the season. It does make a big difference, and it's great for them to see that. And I've got nothing but good things to say about Nottingham Forest, really. I think that, they've, as I say, started the season well. I've been impressed with a few of their players as well. Elliot Anderson, I think, is one for me that has really impressed. He seems to have burst into the scene and done a very good job. I think he came from Newcastle and just looks a real solid player for them, a real creator, and something West Ham have got to be very wary of. I think he started the season really brightly, and I've got to talk about Chris Wood as well. I mean, what a start to the season this guy's had. I mean, he's one of those, isn't it? He reminds me a little bit of Glenn Murray, that sort of not sexy player or anything like that. He's not going to be... the big clubs aren't going to be circulating for their signature, but you just feel like a real safe pair of hands will get you the goals, and he's been great. I mean, I think he got 2 goals last week, wasn't it, against in their 3-1 win over Leicester City. So Nottingham Forest, their towels are firmly up. Really, really, no two ways about that. They will be going into this game full of confidence and feeling they can beat West Ham. And the fact that they have done at that ground, there's no denying. I'm sure that Forest will feel that they can get a result, and I feel like the odds are definitely. Well, certainly with the bookmakers, will be thinking that Nottingham Forest will get a result in this one. It's going to be very, very tough for West Ham up against a very much informed side, and hard to beat there anyway. That is a tough place to go, City Ground. Very, very noisy, quite intimidating. West Ham going to have to be up for a battle. It's one of them games you feel that it's going to require a battle, and I do think that's going to be the case. Before going to West Ham, though, thinking about Nottingham Forest and their sort of aspirations for the season, I feel like the fact that they're, as I say, moving away from the relegation side, I feel like a mid-table finish for them would be really good. That would be a really good result for them, because they really need a season where they're not going to be flirting with relegation. I feel like once you have that season where you're not battling out at the bottom, you can then start to push on as a Premier League club. It's very hard, very unforgiving league, very competitive. And there's so many teams now that are vying for those European spots, obviously West Ham included. It's very, very tough, but I feel like squad depth might catch them out in the end. I don't think they have they're not great in terms of numbers, and they're not haven't got tons of quality available. If they get a couple of injuries, it's difficult. But to be fair to them, though, Gibbs White's been out, and of course, I think he's going to be missing for this game as well. They've handled that really well. So full credit to them. They've been great, and no two ways about it. This is going to be a very, very tough game for West Ham. Let's talk about West Ham now. Being a West Ham channel would be helpful. It's really strange. We go into this fixture off the back of beating Manchester United, and I don't feel any more confident, which is a real shame. I shouldn't feel that way. I want to feel more confident, but I'm just not. I'm not. I haven't. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? That second half against Man United was better. I love the fact we dug in, we fought, we showed real character and desire. I think the problem is I'm so scarred from the fact that we've shown signs of promise this season and not backed it up afterwards. We seem to fall away very quickly. And I feel like that with this. I'm going into this game a little bit apprehensive, actually, because I'm just not sure what West Ham's going to show up. But I'll come to Jared Bowen in a minute because he did comment on that. And I'm hoping that what he has said is going to be a reflection of what we're going to see. But we'll talk about that in a second. In terms of team news, obviously Nicholas Fulkrug is out again. I mean, it's just the never-ending injury once again. It just feels like Max Cornet's sort of situation over again, He was at the London Stadium, however, for the Manchester United game. He was sitting with the rest of his teammates. There were the substitutes, etc. So hopefully that's a sign that he is going to be back soon. But it's hard to miss him because we haven't really had him. But it just feels deflating, doesn't it? The fact that we've gone for the striker. And again, nothing's been resolved. We've got Mikel Antonio we're relying upon once again. It's very, very frustrating to be in this situation. But I get the feeling that we're not going to see him till after the international break anyway. Fulkrug. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get to see him possibly for the Everton game, but I'm just not confident in that whatsoever. And obviously, Mohamed Kudus is out. We have no idea how long for. I mean, it's been 3 games. That was a definite, but it looks like it could be extended. But West Ham have appealed it, so it could rumble on a little bit. But I get a feeling. Well, we know it's going to be out after the international break, but how long for? I'm not sure. But it's strange with the Kudus one because it almost feels like a little bit of a blessing for us because of Somerville. I feel like we've got to get Somerville in this team. His impact against Manchester United again, it was just so good, wasn't it, to see? He performed so well. He made such a big difference. And the fact that Kudus is now not available, I just feel like it opens that door for him now to really stamp his mark on this side and get in and make that his shirt and say, look, I'm the left winger. That's it. Regardless of who else is fit, I'm the number one. And I feel like he's actually getting there. And I really do hope that's going to be the case for this weekend. I want to see him start because he had such a big impact for us. So, he fully deserves it. Lucas Paqueta's situation is a nightmare still. In terms of that, his form is just not good enough. I felt, though, that against Manchester United, he got a little bit of unfair criticism, in my personal opinion. I actually thought that was one of his better performances. Yes, it obviously wasn't his best. And yes, I felt that he was overly aggressive and could have got sent off if we'd have kept him on. So I felt that the manager did the right thing in taking him off at half-time. But it's something that needs sorting out because he's had another bad week in terms of his situation out in Brazil. I know that his uncle, it was televised, wasn't it? Well, they've got clips of it that he was at hearing. It didn't look very good. I just feel like this is all consuming for him. I'd rather just take him out of the equation, to be honest, if it's becoming too much. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think if he's available, he will be playing. And Carlos Soler, I mean, I don't know what this guy is going to bring to the side yet. I haven't seen anything that's suggesting that we've got a good player in our hands at the moment. I mean, you'd like to think that he is, Spain international, Paris Saint-Germain, there's Valencia, he came from before that, but we're just not seeing anything. I've not seen anything from him yet to make me go, right, he needs to be playing at the moment. I just felt against Manchester United, he had a good opportunity there to sort of stamp his mark, and he's just not been able to. Whether that he's just being played out of position or it's just lack of sharpness in terms of Premier League pace, I just don't know what it is. I really do hope he comes good, but at the moment it's hard to make a case, isn't it, for him to start in this game. And this goes to Jared Bowen because I said he made some interesting comments after the Manchester United win, and he basically said that we cannot just keep playing, putting a half decent performance in or getting a good half like we did, beating Man United and then losing heavily again. He said we just can't keep doing that. So we've got to build and get some consistency. And I feel like what this could be. If West Ham are to get a result against Nottingham Forest, if we are to put in a good performance and get something from this game, I feel like it could be a turning point this season because we need to start building some momentum. We can't just keep going up and down and then down and up. We've got to get some kind of form of, that we're on the right trajectory. And let's be honest, right? We're a quarter way through the season now. if we're going to be fighting for European football, which, let's be honest, is looking less likely at this stage, but there's still plenty of games to go. We can catch up. We can get involved in the mix. Then these are games we've got to get results in. You can't keep losing and then going, oh, we lost the game. Oh, we're then going to go and beat Everton. We're back in it again. We can't keep doing that. We're going to have to start getting some momentum going. So this is a really important fixture, especially ahead of Everton at home, because that is a game that we can get 3 points. And really, let's be honest, are expected to get 3 points. So if West Ham are to get something from this game, that would be a great turnaround, wouldn't it? In 3 games, if West Ham can, let's say, beat Man United, get a point here, beat Everton, that would be a lovely run of games ahead of an international break. We'll just lift the mood. And then, of course, you've got Nicholas Fulkrug coming back. It will just give that boost that we will need going into the winter months, obviously, with Christmas coming up. So this is a big fixture. No two ways about it. But I've got to be honest, I'm not feeling overly confident about it. I'm going to give you my team, and I'm going to, which I think, to be honest, I think a lot of us are going to have the same. And then obviously give the score prediction of what I think will be the case in this game. And then obviously I'd like to know your score predictions for this one. It's going to be an interesting one, to say the least, this game. I very, very hard. Anyway, I'm going to go with my team. So Lucas Fabianski in goal. Absolutely. I felt far more confident having him there than Areola. I just felt Areola's not been good enough for us, to be honest with you, especially this season, making too many mistakes. And I feel like Fabianski is a more safe pair of hands, to be honest with you. So, yeah, he keeps the shirt 100%. So Fabianski in goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. Todibo and Kilman as my central defence, with Emerson at left back. I'm pretty certain everyone's going to say the same there. I don't see many people changing that. Of course, Mavropanos started against Manchester United, but we understand it to be an injury related to Todibo. He picked up a knock in training, so that's why he started that game. I don't think that'll be the case this time round. In midfield, I'm going for Edson Alvarez and Rodriguez in the middle as my central midfield. And I'm going to have Thomas Souček playing ahead of them. I know that it's not the sexy thing we want in terms of a number 10, but I actually think in this game, it's going to be a bit of a battle. It's going to be a bit of a roll your sleeves up job against Nottingham Forest. And I feel like having Thomas Souček in there is vital. I feel like he actually played really well against Man United when he came on. I think he made a big difference. And I feel like, I know it's not an exciting midfield in terms of pace, Alvarez, Rodriguez and Souček, but I feel like they're going to be up. Them guys are up for a war, and I think we're going to need it in this game. So, and obviously Souček's got that capability, doesn't he, of ghosting in the box and nicking goals. So I think it's really important. And my front three are Jared Bowen on the right. I'm going to have Somerville, of course, out on the left, and Mikel Antonio against his former club up front. I'm not confident. I'm really not. I'm struggling to be confident for this game. I've really struggled with this prediction. I'm going to be honest with you. Earlier on, it was, when I first started doing my notes for it, right, I originally had us to lose 2-0. I've started to feel a little bit more like, look, we can get something from this, just because of the feeling that we're up for a battle. And I feel like that side can battle. Todibo likes a battle. You've got Alvarez, Rodriguez, love a fight. You've got Souček's up for it. I think Antonio will have a bit of a point to prove. He gets his old club. He'll want to do something. And Somerville's, of course, is going to have his tail up massively after the Manchester United game. So that's given me a little bit more to go on. So I think we might get something. I'm going to go more with my heart here than my head. I'm going to say 1-1. I'm going to get something from this game. I'd like to know what your score predictions are. But, this is a tough game. And I'd like to say I'm looking forward to it. But Nottingham Forest away never is one that I can really, rub my hands and say, I really fancy it. But let's wait and see. Let's hope so, eh? Come on, you ones.